morning. How's everybody doing? What's up? June 9th. Let's get it. Let's get at it, people. Let's skedaddle. Welcome to the walk and talk. Hope everybody can hear me good. Let me know if there's any problems with the volume, as always, this morning. Let's push some boundaries, people. Let's push some boundaries. Let's change some mindsets. Let's get it right. There is a mental belief, there's a concept, there is a acceptance that people have that in order to do something, you gotta disappear. You gotta run away and you gotta show back up. Changed, transformed, rebuilt, new. It's a belief, it's a mindset. It's a world of thought. Good morning. What's going on? What's that? Kilmac? Good morning. So this belief that everything requires for you to disappear and come back changed and reformed, I keep telling people it's flawed. It is. It's a game, it's a word game, right? People try to get you by the words and the slick things they say and the slick sayings and you gotta turn the world over to find out what's up under it, because life isn't a thing, and life comes from you. And so it's like you hear it and you look out there and you see these experiences, and then people try to tell you that you can do it, but they're not really being honest, because you're not meant to do it alone. That's why Eve was placed in the garden. Man is not meant to be alone. That's why punishment for committing crimes is separation from others. Because the punishment is you're alone. It's not just that you don't get to do the things you want when you want, but you're alone. The initial penitentiaries in the United States literally were cubicles. They were boxes that they put you in with a Bible and said, get it right. And they left you there until you could come out and tell them that I'm changed. I am new. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of the walk and talk. And thank you for understanding we're not here to be alone. Millionaire money moves for the masses. Stop thinking you can do it alone. If you're doing it alone right now, and you're finding growth, and you're finding success, and you're finding your traction, man, wait until you build a team. Wait until you bring people in, and a part of what you do is designed to make things better for what they do. We're gonna get into that in just a moment, people. Good morning, welcome in. What's going on, Rich? Good to see you back, my brother. Good to see you. Kilmac, Illy, you behind me, Illy? Stay with me, man. Stay with me. If you behind me, if you behind me, man, don't fall too far behind. I'm gonna be moving. You gotta keep up. You gotta keep up with both the walk and the conversation. Up here at the top of the hill, boom, good morning, people. Good morning. I need you to understand, I need everybody to get an understanding and a realization that the things that you're doing right now, if you are going it alone, build a team. Start looking to allow the thing that you do to become beneficial for others, and watch how big your business becomes. Watch how big the work you do actually becomes. This is a millionaire mindset. This is a thing that allows for growth, is by having others understand that, hey, what I'm doing is designed to provide. I have a purpose that it builds towards. But if you contribute to helping me achieve my purpose, I can help you too, right? This is what building a business is. This is the difference between becoming between buying a job, right, and building a business, right? Because when you build a business, you create a structure and a framework by which others can implement activities where your money goes to work for you. You invest money into a business. You invest time into a job. If you're still getting up and going to do it every day yourself, you bought yourself a job. If you truly want to go up and become bigger, I don't care, and again, I keep explaining this to everyone, that these things are not just about money. Good morning, Felix. It's not just about finances. It's about every area of your life. If you want to grow, you want to grow up, and you want to make it bigger, you want to make it stronger, you got to build a team. If you want to go somewhere with your family, if you have a vision for your family and a goal to get somewhere with your family, and you're going it alone, if your children are not on board, if your spouse is not on board, if your friends, your siblings are not on board, it's going to make it more challenging, right? And you know it just from the conversations that you have with them, trying to explain it to them. And this is why so many people, so many large families fall behind. I remember there was a show way back in the day called Dynasty. And one of the big things about these shows, similar to Dynasty, which was like a nighttime soap opera, is that everything was around family. It was these driven, overbearing, hard men who held court over everyone. You will do as I say. You will be here. You will follow these rules. This is for a purpose. And they would just lean into everyone involved and tell them what their responsibilities were, what their expectations were, where they were supposed to go, what they were supposed to do, and when they were supposed to do it. And they were the worst characters in the whole thing, but they were the ones who built it. They were the ones who created it. They were the ones who had the visions or who carried on with it. But what you have to do is build a team. We can't keep going it alone. Do you know why? Do you know why these men were so hard? They were so hard on the people who were with them, alongside them, or who came from them, because they understood you weren't here when I was out there driving nails by hand. You weren't here when I was digging ditches. You weren't here going through the fights. You didn't lose the people the way I lost the people. You didn't go through what I went through, and I don't want you to. So when you understand, when you start to see that the people who are here for you, when you're building a team, you have to be able to convey that story. You have to be able to share. My oldest child just turned 16 this past week, just a few days ago. There is a requirement on me to pass on to my son the struggle of our purpose, of our direction, of our growth. But for years, and I'm gonna get a little bit political here for a second, guys. For years, I've been taught that my struggle is to be a black man. My focus is on being black, defending black, understanding the challenge of being black, overcoming being black, working hard so you're not just identified as black. And in that, I lost the challenge to become a man. There was no be a man. I heard a comedian recently say, and I've heard this before in the past, we could go all the way back to George Carlin, who said this many years ago. George Carlin is like, why can certain people be Americans? Why can white Europeans that come to the country be Americans, but everybody else has to be some other type of American? Even the people who were here when we got here have to be Native Americans, Pacific Americans, African Americans. Everything had to be labeled, and so I fought that fight for years in order for me to become, oh, I'm an African American. I must defend where I came from. I was born in Washington, D.C. My parents were born in the mountains of North Carolina. My ancestry have been on these shores for hundreds of years, and they have been used as property. They have served someone else's purpose. And now I need to fight to create a place for my children in the global economy in the future. And I'm still having a fight, and I'm still having the argument about being able to identify myself as a black man, because I need to understand how important that is. Okay, I've identified as a black man. Now what? We have to be able to understand we have to build a team. I have to be able to put forth the sacrifices. I have to be able to put in the work. But the only thing I can't let the only thing that I pass on to my son be the legacy of a slave. I'm 52 years old. I'm 52 years old, and I'm still hearing people talk about overcoming the legacy of a slave. I grew up in a country where the only history for blacks started as slavery. There was no history of blacks before slavery when I grew up and I was in school. So what was I supposed to do? How was I supposed to learn how to be more than just a freed slave? How was I supposed to learn to be anything more than that? How do we change? How do we change this message? How do I transform? How do I go from telling my children that the most important thing about you is how they classify you on a piece of paper to the most important thing about you is your purpose and your growth? It's your spiritual understanding. It's this legacy that I'm going to pass on to you and you're going to pass on to your grandchildren. How do I do that? I have to understand I need to build a team. We need to stop passing on our burdens and start passing on our legacy. They are not the same thing. Stop giving your team your problems and start giving your team your vision, and let them be the solution to the problems that arise from challenge. Where there is no challenge, there is no change. Where there is no change, there is no growth. Where there is no growth, there is no success. We must work towards it. And we can't do it alone, people. We cannot do it alone. This isn't about race. As much as it can be about race, it's not about race. It's about having the ability to separate from who people have told you you need to be to being the people that we need to be. This is about a fight. You have to prepare for the fight that you know is coming. This is about the investment of our time and our energy and building a team that can see your vision. When you pass on your vision versus passing on your pain, you compound people's lives. And they've passed on pain for years in this country. And then we get confused as African Americans. Here you go. Rural. What's rural? Those are your poor white Americans. Oh, they're rural. They're rural. Those aren't just Americans. They're rural. Now we have these different categories that they put us into. You have the haves and you have the have-nots. You're gonna fight or you're not gonna fight. You're gonna come together and understand the biggest threat that Martin Luther King posed to the civil rights movement was economic equality, because there were poor people and there were rich people. And when Martin Luther King went down in the South and told poor white farmers that they were having the same problems as poor black farmers, and that out in the Midwest, there were companies with large patches of land who were being paid not to farm so that they could make it more difficult for you to make money off of what you farm. All of a sudden, people started to come together. Listen to me when I tell you, you need to stop doing it alone. When you figure out that there are people out there who are going through what you're going through and trying to get to where you're going, and they're just looking for the opportunity to do so, you build a team. You bring people together. Bringing people together for a cause, bringing people together for work is huge. It's a vision. Why do you think there are so many McDonald's? Why do you think there are so many Burger Kings? Why do you think Walmart is so big? Why do you think these brands and these businesses grow the way that they do? It's because they brought people together. They brought people together. Do you understand? You used to go out to eat at a fast food restaurant. You would get dressed. You would put on your Sunday's best. You would go in, you would order, you would eat with your family. Look back at your original McDonald's posters and your original McDonald's flyers and your burger joints. Look at them. Look at what the requirement was to go do it. We do it now. We order it on the app. We still in our pajamas. We order lunch when we wake up, so it'll be at the job when we're ready for it. And we don't have to wait for it when our lunchtime comes. I'm telling you, this is part of building a team. This is part of passing on a vision. And when you pass on your vision versus passing on your problems, you allow for what you have to grow. This is what building a team is about. This is what understanding a team is about. This is where the people who are involved with it understand their place, they understand their purpose, they understand their value, and they bring it every day. They bring it understanding the contribution that it's making. What we say, Rich? Can't play into the race war. That's what I'm talking about, man. We can't play into it. We can't. Economic equality is what we're talking about, people. But you have to start to build your economy. Listen, I'm not one of these people, man. I'll have this talk and we can go blow for blow over the history of it, and we can talk about who did what, when, and where, and why. We can talk, you want to say, hey, man, black on black crime is the problem. More blacks kill blacks than whites kill blacks. More blacks kill blacks than police kill blacks. Yeah, well, more whites kill whites than blacks kill whites. That's because it's commonality. You're in an area where you are. Guess what? 100% of Latin American people who were killed by Latin American people were killed by Latin American people. But that doesn't mean that 100% of people, the 100% of Latin Americans who were killed by Latin Americans. Like we can have these type of discussions all day long, but we first have to ask our question, what is the point? Where are we going? What are we trying to do? This is a distraction. We're trying to make millionaire moves for the masses. And if you want to make millionaire moves, build a team. Build a team, man. Stop pointing fingers at who's to blame. When there's this old statement that says, man, every time you point a finger at somebody else, there's 4 pointing back at you. Every time you say, this is what you did to me. What did you do to you? What are you doing to you right now? Are you ready to get up in the morning and go to work for you the way you are for your job? On your day off, do you still get up at the same time you get up when you have to go to work? When you have to be to work at 9 a.m. and you get up at 6 and you drag yourself out of bed and you start checking your emails and you start getting yourself ready, do you do the same thing for you on your day off? On your day off, do you get up? Do you get yourself out of bed and start getting yourself ready? Start doing the work you need to do for you to be ready. Do you start doing the things that are necessary to work on you, build on you? Do you have a plan and a purpose for you? Or are you just climbing out of bed at whatever time, laying around, understanding that your time is valuable as well? Do you understand it? Do you know what you can do? Do you know the power of purpose and principles and how it can change your future, how it can change your life for generations? We need to understand it. We need to accept it. We need to fall into it. want it. It requires, no matter what's going on outside of you. And I'm not saying there are not going to be challenges. I'm not saying that there won't be people who are opposed to you. All I'm saying to you is, what are you trying to do? Win an argument or win at life? Which one are we trying to do? Good morning, Aubrey. Some people are trying to move forward in life. This is from Kevin. And some people are trying to live life or live in mistakes of the past, possibly. Alex said, what day off are we talking about? Any day off. Danny said, we needed this. Thank you, Daddy. Alexander, there are no days off on the grind. There are not days off on the grind. That's the point. But we don't treat it the same. I have a niece. My youngest brother's daughter is immensely talented. I mean, immensely so. Like, me and my brothers, we grew up in the hip hop era, right? We were like, yo, I'm gonna be a rapper. I'm gonna lay it down. Been to the mountaintop, I went back from whence I came. And seen the promised land. It's just a whole bunch of different lanes. Like, we did all that. We was like, I'm gonna drop lyrics. We ain't going nowhere. I got a niece who in her teens, as a teenager, going to college, was dropping them on Apple Music. She was posting them weekly on SoundCloud. She's got a degree in graphic arts. She has the ability to do so many things. And she lives in the South. And there's this challenges that she has around her from the environment that have not shared with her and taught her the benefit and the way to work with her talents and to take her to the places that she really wants to go. And since she doesn't have this understanding, she has difficulty. So when it's time for her to get up and go to her job, the frustration of knowing how talented she is and not being able to bring it out makes her late for her job. And then when she doesn't have to work her job, the frustrations of her situation and how talented she is keeps her from getting up for herself. And I want the best for her. I want to be able to motivate her. I want to encourage her. I want to be there for her. And so I do reach out. I do share, I do encourage. And I am sure that at some point it is going to land and she is going to be phenomenal and everyone's going to hear about her. I know this is a part of her future, but until we are prepared to look at ourselves and say, hey, it's on me. I get it sucks. I get it, I'm in a situation that I don't really want to be in. I get there are challenges. I get there are things I don't want to do and things that I don't want to accept, but it's where I am right now and I have to grind. I have to get up. If I'm getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go work for minimum wage, I'm getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to work on me. If I'm going to do it for someone else, I'm going to do it for me. If I'm going to do it to build somebody else's legacy, I'm going to do it to build my own. We have to understand that there's a requirement to get up. And when you get up and you start to go, you're going to find yourself. And this is what I mean when I said at the very beginning that there is this belief that you have to disappear and come back different. No, you don't. You got to move in different circles. You don't come back. You don't go back. That's the worst thing you can do is go back. Many years ago, me and my brother were driving together. We were riding through Baltimore City. And huge rat ran out in front of the car. I'm driving, man. Rat ran out. I tapped my brakes. Rat got halfway across the street, changed his mind, came back. Boom, boom. Heard the tires go over top of it. Me and my brother looked at each other, and we both at almost the same time was like, man, don't go back. Don't go back. Don't turn back. Don't go back to where you were. Go forward. You've got to make a decision to move forward. You have to understand that you have a cause, a purpose, and a direction that you're heading in, and you need to build your team. You need to move forward. You need to be prepared to understand that you are not passing on your problems. You are passing on the promise. You are passing on the vision. You are passing on the thing that they can work on, that they can continue to grow. Vision does not die. Problems change, people change, environments change because it's growing. If all you've done is passed on the pain, if all you've done is passed on the burden, if you're still walking around here now trying to fight the same battles of getting off the back of the bus, you're in the wrong time. We went through this fight to get off the back of the bus, and as soon as I started riding the school bus, I wanted to be on the back because that's where the cool people were. That's where as far as you could get away from authority. That's where you could go and be yourself and hang out and chill. Do we understand that the world changes? And if we don't change with it, if we don't grow with it, then we're stuck. This is what building a legacy is about. This is what understanding true happiness, principles, and purpose is about. Can you design it? Can you build it for yourself? What do we have it here? I'm gonna read a couple of these comments real quick. Alexander says, there are no days off. There are not. Kevin says, it's important to show intentionality, initiative. Aubrey asks where I'm walking. Say walk every morning. Walking into the future, walking into the legacy. People want to show action, but no one wants to live the hard work, the triggers that are making you decide something instead of a good decision that you would appreciate. Rich says, spitting those old school raps sounded good. It's for it. God bless my niece indeed, man. God bless her. Here's the thing, man. This whole talk this morning, everything we're talking about this morning is about the specifics. I do this walk in the morning, as I told you guys before, for those of you who've been here for a while, you understand this walk in the morning was an opportunity simply for me to think, catch my breath, get my thoughts right, get my mind right, understand, reestablish an understanding of my purpose, an understanding of my perseverance, to wash away all of those things that do not serve my purpose moving into the next day, to clear my mind, clear my heart, clear my soul, prepare myself to be the person I need to be, to take on the challenges, to pursue the continued direction of growth and prosperity, and passing on my passion and purpose to my people, to my children, to my loved ones, to my wife, to my family, so that they know that there's a direction that I'm committed to. When you work with purpose, when you work with understanding, when you work with principles, knowing that you're trying to achieve an objective, it makes you very, very powerful, people. It makes you very powerful. Why is this important? This is important, people, because until we have it, until we know a purpose, until we're prepared to build a team, we'll be a part of someone else's. And you might be pretty high in that team. You might be pretty high in the ranking of that team, but we're still working on somebody else's team. We're still a part of somebody else's team. I think it's Warren Buffett. He's worth like $164 billion, right? Does all of this investing. He has children. He says when he passes away, he's going to donate 90% of his wealth to charity, right? 90% of it he's going to donate to different charities. All right, so try to get this fixed real quick, guys. Sorry about that. So he says he's going to donate 90% of his wealth to charity. I don't have, there we go. I don't have a calculator on me, but I'm gonna try to do this math. I believe 10% of 164 billion is $16.4 billion. Now, When someone say I'm giving away 90% of what I've amassed throughout my life to anybody but my family, I'm picking names from a hat and I'm gonna give it away to anybody but my family. 90% of it. All of us are up in arms. Oh man, my parents gave 90% of their stuff away to charity and they only left me with 10%. Man, that's crazy. That's crazy. Why would you do that? Well, here's the thing. If he gives 90% of it away to charity, what he leaves to his children shouldn't be taxed. Plus, 16.4 billion. It's not bad. It's not bad. Now, if you worth $164 when you pass away, 90% of that is gonna leave $16.40. That's not gonna go as far as 16 billion, right? What is this saying? What am I saying by sharing this? I'm saying that we have to understand how to build a team. We have to understand that he's not passing on his profits. He's not passing on the problems. He's passing on the promise. He's passing on the vision. That's what he's handed to his children. But he's been doing it their whole life. So with 16.4 billion, they are starting off a lot better than he did. 3 or 4 children, something like that, you're still looking at 4.1 billion a piece. If it's 4, you're still looking at 4.1 billion. Dude, if you can't figure it out with $4 billion, then you didn't get the lesson. You didn't understand, but this is what I'm trying to say to you. That's because you build a team and you have a purpose and you understand where you're going. And then he says 90% of this I'm gonna give away. 90%. But there are things we don't know that we don't know until we get there. We don't know that the uber wealthy have life insurance policies valued in the hundreds of millions of dollars that they pay into, that when they pass away goes into a trust that their family continues to manage so that the future of their families are guaranteed. Do you understand that this process of paying it into the future, understanding your purpose, knowing what you're working towards, and passing on the vision versus passing on the problems? Pass on the promise instead of the problems. Then it allows for your family, for the people who you work with, to understand what they're working on, what they're working for, why they're working the way they are, and what it is they're looking to achieve. It allows for everyone to be more powerful, for everyone to be more productive, for everyone to be able to build and be stronger. This is the purpose. This is the purpose of what we do. This is the purpose of living by the principles we have. Principles and purpose equals power, people. We need to continue to grow. If you are wondering right now, if you are in the midst of growing and living your life right now, and you're trying to find out why you're stuck, why you're not moving at the pace you would like to, how to get to the next level, one of the things you want to do is build a team, people. We have to find and build a team. This is why leadership skill sets are important, because we need to pick the people who bring value to our life. We need to find and be around the people who are going to bring strength. And the synergy of working together is going to make you stronger. You can push more with 4 fingers than you can with 1, simply because the combined strength of those 4 fingers is greater than the strength of your 1. I don't care if it's in your workout plan. If you're working out and you're not finding the growth that you want, build a team. You need a workout partner. You need some encouragement. Build a team. If you're in the middle of building a business and you're not getting where you want to, build a team. Don't hire a bunch of employees. Don't get the misperception. And this is a good thing for everyone to understand. Do not get the misperception, right? Or do not fall under the confusion that building a team is the same as hiring people. because it's not. It's not the same. Don't fall under the misperception that simply by going out and saying, hey, I'm going to bring in more people, that all of these people are going to be the people for your team. They may not be. We have to be able to figure that out. But what we have to do is we have to figure out what people, how many of these people are inspired or connected to our vision. How many of them can appreciate the vision, can appreciate the purpose, can accept their part and play it in what they do. Because this is why there's an interview process. That's why it's so hard to get a job at Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A makes it hard to get a job. You know why? If you can't go through the interview process, you can't do the work. This is why people quit before they even apply. They was like, oh yeah, man, it was about 2 months. It took me like 2 months to get a job at Chick-fil-A. Oh man, oh, I ain't waiting that long. What? I ain't waiting 2 months. Yeah, they give up because Chick-fil-A knows the difference between hiring people and building a team. Because as you build a team, this team needs to have an understanding of the commitment, the requirement, the investment that is necessary in order to achieve. Hold on a second, guys. So, what does this talk about this morning? This talk this morning is really simple, right? What does it say? Rich said trust. Exactly. Right on top of the research list. That's why it's important. It's important for us to understand, guys. I'm sharing this with you because I want you to benefit from you. I want you to benefit from it, to understand that it's powerful, and to understand what it can do for you. I need for you to understand where we're going in life, what we're doing in life, and who we choose to be and how we choose to live requires for us to check our principles, identify a purpose, and pursue it with discipline. Pursue that plan with discipline. Discipline is going to have 4 pillars. First pillar is repetition. Repetition is just showing up. Just keep showing up. I don't even care how well you're doing. Just keep making it in here. After repetition, you're going to have patience. You need to keep showing up because I'm letting you know one day working out for 20 hours is not going to be as beneficial as 20 days working out for 1 hour. And then you need to understand consistency. Consistency is simply having a plan and progressing along that plan to see growth and development. And you're going to finish it up with perseverance. And we talked about perseverance the other day. Perseverance is that fight. Perseverance is that point where you get to where all of a sudden it starts to feel like, oh my goodness, this isn't working. I'm ready to quit. I was lied to. I was tricked. I don't have the strength. I can't do it anymore. Perseverance is what pushes you through, because that perseverance, when I just mentioned Chick-fil-A, if you can't take 60 days to prove you are worthy of being a part of our organization, I don't care that we're selling chicken. I don't care what your vision of fast food is. I don't care what you think about certain things. If you can't take 60 days to prove that you care about our purpose and you value our way of doing things, if you can't do that for 60 days, then you can't be a part of what we do. It's that simple. You can't be a part of it. You can't be a part of what we're trying to achieve. You can't be a part of our team, and you clearly aren't going to be a part of our future. It's perseverance. You need to persevere in your own life. You need to persevere going towards your own purpose. And when we understand those levels of discipline, we understand that we need to implement them, and they need to be a part of our daily walk. When we figure those things out, we are prepared to move forward. And in that process, regardless of what area it is, we need to understand millionaire moves say build a team. Millionaire moves tell you stop trying to do it on your own. Stop trying to figure it out on your own. Stop trying to carry all the weight of your own. This is the difference between having a business and having a job, because a lot of people may have their own business, but when they're not working, they're not making money, which means you don't have a business, you just bought yourself a job. We need to build teams. We need to do it, we need to understand how to do it, and we need to know what the value of it is, people. Hey, I appreciate you guys dropping in this morning. As always, we understand here that the focus is on growth, development, and empowerment in our entire life, in our relationships, in our work, in our faith, our finances, and also in our future. And we know, as I say here all the time, in order to achieve anything, it requires discipline. And once you have the discipline, you just apply it to the field that you want to put it into. And once we apply it, we can achieve great things, people. As always, it's a pleasure to have you here. And I'm going to say, if you want to support the channel, we have a link pinned at the top where you can click on it. You can make donations directly towards the channel and the message that we're carrying out here. And then also understand that as we continue to move forward, people, as we continue to live, what we need to do is we need to keep showing up, we need to keep blowing up, and we need to keep growing up. I'll see you guys next time. God bless.